Hello, everyone. I'm just unmuting Alvaro and Marcia here. Can you guys hear us?
Hi guys.
Hello. Say hello, Marcia.
Hi guys.
Let's see. Okay, people are hearing us. So let's start with our with the presentation of our newest bundle, Snowy Mountain Summit. For those who don't know me, I'm Tiago. I'm Loot Studios Community Manager. And with me, I have Alvaro, our art director. He's up there. And Marcia, our painter. Say hello again, guys.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Marcia?
Yes. Marcia?
Hi.
Yeah, people are noticing that Marcia is back. She's feeling better now. Just well enough to join us today and paint the Ice Golem. And she's actually painting the 75 mm version, right, Marcia? Which is
Yeah.
he's a big guy. He's a big burly guy. So actually, because she's painting it, I'm not gonna be able to show it to you guys here today, but you have it right there. Uh, so before for those who don't know the format, I'm gonna present every single miniature in the bundle. There's gonna be some announcements in the end. And while I do this, Marcia is gonna be painting, and Alvaro is gonna be live sculpting something for us.
Yeah, so I'm planning to sculpt a magical weapon, right? Like a spell effect.
Yeah,
A lot of people ask for this, so I'm doing some axe or something like this.
yeah. I think it's a very cool idea to do this one because it works as both a spiritual weapon. It works as like a dancing weapon. There's like a living blade, stuff like that. There's a living weapon, stuff like that. Right? So it's very, very versatile, and a lot of people have been asking for this. So here it is, we're doing it. And now, before we start presenting the bundle, I have something to show to you guys. So yesterday was Halloween, right? And we had a little bonus, a little Halloween bonus for our October bundles. And it's available on Bird Tomb or Fantasy October bundle, and also in Saurian Native Diplomacy, uh, the Sci-Fi bundle. And if you haven't seen it yet, the reward is Jimmy Hollowhead, Eye Collector of Penshaw. Let me just zoom in a little bit here onto this guy. Yeah, so this is the concept art by Guilherme Mota. And yeah, this is just something that's a little bit crazy. And yeah, people like this guy is just creepy, right? And it's like I think it's the perfect mini for Halloween. You can still pick this up if you don't have it yet. If you own either Buried Tomb or Saurian Native Diplomacy or October bundles, it's gonna be in there as a bonus. It's gonna be inside the bundle folder. And if you don't, you can still buy Buried Tomb as an old bundle, or you can sign up for the sci-fi subscription as well. The sci-fi subscription is still going until the 15th, so you can still pick him up that way. And just so you guys can see how awesome the mini turned out, I'm gonna transition here to the miniature. So we have the 32 mm miniature here, 30 mm version. Yeah. And we have, of course, the 75 mm version, which will look beautiful as a display piece, right? In all its glorious detail, like the pumpkins on the back, the cursed pumpkins, the collected, the heads hanging from the belt, the extra eyes collected on the uh, on the on the head here, and this is a little bit like our Mythos amplifier creature, right, with the multiple eyes. You definitely want to check out our how to paint eyes tutorial to get these guys right. And here we have a little bit of a bonus, the pumpkin lamp, right? And let me just show it to you guys here. This is a little cheap LED that you can find like in a bunch of different places. Let's see if it shows correctly here. Ooh, let's see if the light helps. Yeah, so this this is all you need as a decoration for Halloween, except that it was yesterday, right? Ooh, let us just turn off the. Ooh, yeah, that's a bit too dark, folks. Yeah, you can turn the lights back on. I'm not sure it's gonna show properly here now. Yeah, so it's a great Halloween decoration, but it's also a great monster to throw at your players. It's really, really creepy. It has that kind of I'd say urban legend vibe, right? But it's obviously not urban. It's more of a backwards town urban legend, right? It's like it's folk tale and stuff, like the kind of green fairy tale that parents tell their children to scare them, right? And this the story of the actual mini is really great as well because it was a great collab between our 3D team leads and our art directors. So Alvaro, Robson Barros, and Leandro Pavanelli, all three of them contributed to the actual sculpt of this mini. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Alvaro?
Oh yeah, sure. So um, we took a long time to create this concept art, like Guilherme, the concept artist, and we didn't have much time before Halloween. So as you can see, it's a really detailed miniature, and I realized that it couldn't be done by Halloween. So I called our best artists, Leandro and Robson, and together we sculpted this miniature in just a few days. So while I was working on the head, Robson was detailing the body, and Leandro was sculpting the pumpkins on the base. So it's a really cool thing you can do with 3D sculpting, right? Because if it was a traditional sculpture, we couldn't do this. As it is a 3D file, we can work on multiple places at the same time. So we worked really hard, and the result of this teamwork is this awesome miniature.
Yeah, and it turned out amazing, and it's just so creepy. Uh, and people are asking on chat, where can I find this? If you own our Buried Tomb bundle or October Fantasy bundle, you can find it there, and you can also find it on our sci-fi bundle, Saurian Native Diplomacy, which is still going to be available as part of the sci-fi subscription until the 15th. You can also buy the Buried Tomb bundle as an old bundle, and it will also be available there. It's going to be available inside the bundle folder as a bonus, right? So it's not going to be a separate thing like we do for our loyalty rewards. Okay? So this is Jimmy Hollowhead. And it's an absolutely amazing Halloween miniature. So moving on to let's start to present the Snowy Mountain Summit bundle. A lot of people were really excited for this bundle, myself included, and we have good reason for it, right? So to start off, and let me just so, to start off, we have our first hero, Rau Bear Slayer. Let me just move some things around here. So, Rau Bear Slayer is a barbarian, and she's a classic, like Forgotten Realms Northern barbarian, right? She's maybe a berserker. She is wearing the bear skin. So yeah, she's got it all going on. Like barbarian tribe killed the bear single-handedly at 11 years old. After that, she was raised by a tribe of giants, came of age, defeated the giants in single combat, and now she's out to save the world, make friends, kill a couple more bears. Ooh, the in D&D worlds, people don't really worry too much about wildlife preservation, right? It's kind of a kill kill or be killed situation. Okay. So let me show you guys how the mini turned out actually. Let me just move some things around here. Yeah. So this is Rau Bear Slayer. We have both a 75 millimeters and the bust version here, and she was sculpted by Wesley dos Santos. And you can see here, she's been carrying around this bear that she's killed for a couple of years now, in the coat. There's a lot of yeah. This is the snowy mountain summit, right? So there's gonna be a lot of fur this time around in this bundle. A lot of the characters they don't have cold damage resistance, so they have to warm up somehow. Yeah, so here on her back you can see the scabbard for the great sword. I think actually this could be considered a long sword if you really squint hard. It's a long sword, right? Oops, almost dropped it. But Rau also has, and let me show this on the 75 millimeter version here. Rau also has like a dagger hanging here from the leather straps on her belt. The the legs of the bear pelt are hanging out and swinging around as she prepares to strike, right? As she turns her body around and prepares to strike. So this is our classic barbarian in an action pose. And yeah, it's another thing it's another one of those situations, right, where we have a female warrior wearing like functional armor and functional clothing. You need to cover yourself up when you're like in 10 towns or something, right? When you're getting near to the what's the name of that glacier in the Forgotten Realms? The Ragged Glacier, where the ragged barbarians come from, something like that. Yeah, so it's a lot of padded clothing, a couple of bracers actually. For barbarians, it's always useful to have bracers of defense as well, right? Maybe a belt of giant strength. Yeah, and just and let me use the bust here for this. I think it's gonna be a little bit easier. Just a mean, angry face. Like she's ready to strike. She is not happy with you. Like if you get to see this expression, you're probably not gonna live for long. Yeah. Yeah, people are saying chat. Shout out for Wolfgar. Yeah, just. And I think she's in like she's like mid strike. She's swinging back the blade. Oh, just a second, guys. We're back. So she's swinging back her blade and preparing to do like a big barbarian strike, right? Yeah, you'd probably something like Great Weapon Master, right? Yeah, Rau is just, and I think that's like canonically how you gotta pronounce her name, like a bear growling, right? Rau, something like that. I don't know if I did that right. I think that was horrible, actually. Okay, so next up, let's move on to our next hero before I embarrass myself any further. So the next hero we have is Levisteus, and actually let me. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, so this is Levisteus. He's a tiefling sorcerer. Before anyone says it, we did not base this guy on Team Ten Enchanter from Monty Python. It was just a happy little accident. But really, if you do a tiefling with curved horns, right, a male tiefling with curved horns, you're gonna end up with something that looks like Tim. It's just like kind of Tim's iconic look. But yeah, this is, and let me just prepare some stuff here. And some of you that have seen the concept art before may notice that my big head is covering this little guy, right? Which is Tim's otter. Oh, not Tim, like Levi's tails. God damn it. It's Levi's tails otter. I'm gonna make the same mistake again and again and again. Let me just prepare some stuff here. So he's a tiefling sorcerer, and he is related to like usually tieflings have like that connection to the nine hells, and they have like that connection to hellfire. People are making fun of me in chat because I said it. And they have that connection to hellfire, but there's a lot of different kinds of hell. There's a lot of layers to hell, and a lot of different types of devils, right? One of those types of devils is ice devils, and you also have I think is it Levistus, the layer of hell in which Asmodeus himself resides, and there's a there's one of the lords of the nine hells that is actually like, and I think it's the lord of the nine hells that is encased in ice. It's Levistus, right? So yeah, it was a great opportunity to work with an ice tiefling, and here he is in all his glory, Levisteus, the tiefling sorcerer. And you can see in the base here he's casting some sort of ice spell, and he's like, maybe he's floating around, maybe he just cast levitate on himself. And again, there's gonna be a lot of in this bundle there's gonna be a lot of leather, a lot of furs, a lot of people trying to keep themselves warm in an absolutely desperate situation. We have the ice crystals on his staff and on the cloud of the spell effect here. Excuse me. Yeah, another amazing sculpt by Wesley dos Santos. And how could I possibly forget to mention Levisteus Otter? So this otter is Levisteus' familiar. It's the little guy that gives Levisteus the confidence he needs to like use his spells appropriately. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, look at this cute little guy here. Yeah, you guys have been asking us to do more like separate minis for the familiars, and this is what we're starting doing. Actually, in this bundle, we have two different little familiar guys. So we have this otter, and our next hero also has a familiar. Let us, but before we move on to our next hero, let's just show like all the detail on the bust here. Like just the intention, the tiefling fangs. You can actually see them. The very, very respectable mustache, I must say, and the goatee. Like you mentioned the nine hells. Like you think of the guy downstairs. That's what you think about, right? And by the guy downstairs, I mean Asmodeus, right? So yeah, lots and lots of furs. Let me turn around, and ice crystals everywhere. And Levisteus is looking sharp. Casting a spell and ready to strike. So, let me just move on here to the next one. Next up, we have... Oh, and this is gonna be funny. Next up, we have Tyus of the Frozen Tundra. Uh, she's our druid hero for this bundle. Our second female mini for this bundle. And let me just move things around here. Yeah, she's the second female mini for this bundle. She's a druid. She's a frost druid, like, and again, she has a little familiar, and we're gonna get to him in a second. Like the pine trees are just straight up coming out of my head right now, right? Let me adjust myself here. Yeah, there we go. So this is our frost druid for this bundle, right? She's she's a classic druid, like in tune with the elements, and even into coldest reaches of any world, like life still thrives, and somebody's got to protect it. So, it's a very harsh environment. It's a very there's a lot of people just trying to survive there, and to survive, they're going to destroy nature there. So there's always a druid and always a ranger. There's always like this bunch of like what was the name of Captain Planet's team? The Planeteers. There's always a bunch of Planeteers to ruin your day. You're just chopping some wood to try and warm yourself and your family, and then Tyus shows up, and yeah, she's our frost druid. Let me get to the actual mini, show it to you guys how awesome she turned out. And this is Tyus with her sick looking scythe. And let me just point out the scythe here just a second. Like, look how gnarly this looks. So you can just use this as a staff, as her focus for her druidic magic, or you can use it as a weapon. And if you decide to use it as a weapon, I think Tyus would also fit very well as a barbarian character or something like that. Like, because she's not the kind of druid that is like, you know, happy go lucky, happy, like she's gonna teach you a life lesson at the end of the Captain Planet episode. No, she's the kind that's gonna... You've been poaching around her, the land she protects. Have you been like killing whales for their oil or something? Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time with Tyus. So let me show a little bit more detail on the bust here. She has her her owl cloak, and I think there's D&D has a cloak of the bat, of the not of the bat, of the bat, a cloak of the bat that allows you to transform into a bat for like 1 hour, either a bat or a giant bat. I think this could be a great opportunity to give your player character like a cloak of the owl, right? It's not that different from a giant bat stat wise, and yeah, it would work beautifully. We do have like this detail here that the sculptor of this miniature, before I forget, is Rafael Sui. And we do have like this little detail, like this ice flake ornament here on her chest. She is a frost druid, and her cloak is kind of tattered, like she's been around for a while and she's been fighting and trying to protect the land and keeping balance in the universe, right? Let me show the 75mm a little bit more. I think this one strikes like it's a perfect balance between a mini with like an interesting pose, right? But it's not. It's an action pose, and it's just great. Look. Oh, let me just it's funny because even as I hold the minis here and look at them for the first time, I see like all these little details that the artists put in, like the pouches, the daggers, the leather straps. There's not a lot of skin to paint into this bundle, unfortunately, unless you count a couple of the enemies, because it's kind of the nature of the terrain. It's very, very cold. It's like, I don't know. Oh, I don't know the Fahrenheit conversions, but it would be like definitely below zero. Like water has frozen a long time ago. If you live, it's one of those things you shouldn't be outside. You might end up with an icicle where you don't want one. Uh, and here we have her little familiar. Like it's a little bit of a tundra elemental, right? I think you can use the stats for it'd be a method of some kind, or like an elemental spirit. And you can see like the little pine trees up here. Ooh, almost dropped it, but didn't. Yeah, but it's just a little spirit that has another thing that you can use as a stat block for this one is a chewinga, right? Chewingas were originally like from I believe they were from uh, ooh I wanna say it's the it's the tropical rainforest place for Tomb of Annihilation. I forgot the name of the place. I keep wanting to say Jund, but that's from Magic the Gathering. Uh, but a lot of people from that place eventually moved over to like Icewind Dale, and so you get like these little spirits that can that sometimes help, sometimes hinder you, right? And there are the Chewingas, and you can also use that as a stat block for this little guy. Cholt. Yes, the Chewingas are originally from Cholt. So these are our three heroes for the bundle. So next up we have the bundle's boss. And this one is a doozy, you guys. And I have a lot of different versions of it here. Let me just set things up. And the next up we have the werebeast. So a lot of were creatures in the north, right? In the Snowy Mountain Summit. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I have another version of it here. It's a lot of versions. We may have to do a couple of passes on this one. So a lot of uh, a lot of different werebeasts like werebears and werewolves and like a lot of, for some reason, in the coldest reaches of the world, a lot of furry creatures thrive. A lot of creatures uh, that have a lot of fur and that are made to survive in cold climates. And it's also one of those places like I think there's a great description of Ten Towns and Icewind Dale, which is it's a place you go when you don't have anywhere else to go. Like when even your mom won't take you in her home anymore, you go to Ten Towns, Icewind Dale, or you go to the Snowy Mountain Summit, right? Like there's a lot of people who are there because they need to be there, and there's also a lot of like just uh, evil like degenerate druids that have given themselves into lycanthropy. So this werebeast, the lore we created for her is actually she has parts of a bunch of different animals. Maybe she was once a druid and she has pledged herself to the moon, right? And she has like the legs of a wolf, the body of a of a bear, and and she's part owl, part stag, part wolf, and it's just a really she's kind of she's the top of the food chain, let's say, up north. Uh, yeah, I agree. Everyone who's commenting on chat, the antlers do look really, really cool. So, of course, you can use her as one of the versions of Auril, the Frost Maiden. I think from Rime of the Frost Maiden, she would fit perfectly for that. But yeah, let's show you guys the actual miniatures. So, we have a couple of different versions of it here. We have, of course, the bust version. Which is a big girl. She's a large base creature, so when you blow her up to 75 millimeters, she's really, really big. Let me see. Do we have another bust here just to compare? Another one of the here. Oh, I actually have one here. I have one here. Don't worry. Here, right? She is really, really big and intimidating, and you don't want to fight her one-on-one. Of course, she has spells that she can use against you. That's what the scepter's for, right? But also, like those claws that she has are pretty gnarly, and she could easily wrap her hands around your neck and just wring the life out of you. Uh, the we have the 75 millimeter version here, which I think is gonna work great for a display piece. And there's the on the base here. I think this one's gonna be the best one to show this. She's actually stepping over a giant's skull, right? And maybe this is in her lair. And of course, we have the 32 millimeter miniature. And for the 32mm miniature, as all our terrain is 32mm, we decided to make a throne for her, right? So she has a throne, and her base, the base of the miniature, actually fits perfectly in here as like an extra step. And let me just get ahead of myself and show a little bit more of this awesome throne. It has all the spikes here, right? It reminds me a little bit of the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones, but just a little bit, just a little bit. There's all those skulls on the side. Like the terrain this time, this piece of terrain really complements this creature, right? So you can set up a diorama with them. And yeah, oh, before I forget, the Werebeast was sculpted by Gabriel Laeti, and all of the terrain pieces, and I'm gonna show you guys the other ones later. All of the objects and terrain pieces were sculpted by Wendy Ferreira. So yeah, this is the Werebeast. Something you wouldn't wanna, your party wouldn't wanna fight this. Like not even in their worst nightmare. And like just look at her staff. Actually, let me use the bus here. She has a really big staff. Just look at the staff, right? It's just skull on top of skull on top of skull. Probably all of the creatures that are part of her. There's a stag skull, some kind of carnivorous beast here, maybe a wolf, maybe a bear. A smaller skull that's with a beak, I think, so that's the owl skull. So yeah, just not your friendly neighborhood frost druid like Tyus is, and even if yeah, just not fun. Let me turn her around here so you guys can take a better look at her tattered cloak. Here, yeah, just amazing work. And who knows? Like, I think a lot of people are going to go with her for the browns and whites for the feather color, right? Whites for because of the like frost, snowy owls and stuff like that. But who knows? It's a bird, and if you want to use it in a scenario that is not a frozen tundra, you know, you can give her like some different special colors. I don't know. It would be fun. You don't necessarily have to use her as the villain. I already have some ideas of like maybe some kind of arch druid or some arch fae that I can have. I can have my players have to deal with. Just devious DM stuff. Okay, so the next one, it's another big one. It's a huge miniature. So the next one is the Remohas. Let us get everything out of the way here. So the Remohas is this insectoid species that kind of needs the code to survive. Their blood is so hot that it's almost like lava, right? They burrow into frozen ground because they can melt snow and ice, and they can the hard packed frozen ground, they can melt right through it, right? Just because of how hot their bodies are, and you can and they are a pain to fight, and that's why I love to use them against players, because just by being around them, and they're one of those creatures that just by being around them, if you hit them a bunch, every time they are hit, anyone who's around them gets like sprayed with blood, and then just starts melting because their blood is hot like lava. So they are just a pain to fight. And here we have, let me just turn it around a little bit so it matches the concept art. Here we have the huge Remohas. And just let me use a regular size mini. Can someone, just one of the heroes, please. Just so everyone can have an idea of scale here. So this is a huge creature. And it's a bit challenging to do, right? Out the little pieces, out the tiny little needle-like I forget the word now. Out the tiny little legs, needle-like legs, just skittering around and moving towards you. Just like the insectoids are the worst, right? They're just like inherently creepy. Yeah, let me turn this thing around so you guys can take a better look at it. And she's a little bit like the Bearguin bundle we had, the skeletal snake, right? I don't think this is as technically challenging as that one, maybe to create, but it's a very like sinuous body, which is it's hard to represent in the base sized that we have for it. But again, our artist Michel Rodriguez did a wonderful job of it. It's just absurdly creepy. Yeah, you do not want to you do not want to fight this thing. Like I don't think like this thing has spikes on its back, but it's as a deterrent to predators. With like, what kind of predators go after Remohazes? Like maybe a red dragon that lives in the same region and that can actually eat it. Yeah. Yeah, like the bug monsters are always fun to do and fun to work with, right? Alvaro, can you talk? I talked a little bit about it, but maybe I'm not the best person to talk about it. Can you talk a little bit about the technical difficulties of like a miniature like this?
Oh, sure. So the first obvious thing is the scale, right? For the 32 millimeters, it's not so hard, because the miniature will fit on most printers. But for the 75 millimeters one, we had to separate it in many pieces to make it fit. So the 3D artist had to do all this engineering stuff to make it printable on smaller printers. And as you may have already noticed, we always try to make the cuts on parts that won't be very visible. So we don't just cut the miniatures in half and wait for visible gaps. We try to make all cuts like invisible. And this is something I learned a lot from working with big statue companies, and I'm always trying to teach this to the artists.
Okay, everyone,
So
I
as
will
you can
just change my headset here. Alvaro, you can keep going.
Okay. So once you assemble this miniature, you will notice that it's very easy to make the seams invisible. And another hard thing to do with this creature is to make it stronger, like strong enough to play with, because when you have those really small legs, it is very easy to make the miniature very fragile. So yeah, I think those are the hard things about this miniature, to make it printable and stronger, strong enough.
Okay, great. Thanks for enlightening us, Alvaro. So next up we have. Oh yeah, yeah. People were complaining about the sound on my side, and I think it's fixed now. So next up we have something that the Ice Golem, a sculpt that I don't currently have here. The 32 millimeters that we had are all with Marcia. She was painting them for the painting guide. And the 75 millimeter version of the Ice Golem she's painting right now. So I've already seen a lot of comments you guys had about the Ice Golems. You can of course use the Ice Golems as an ice elemental or something like that. That's up to you. The golem part is just our suggestion, really. It's just like a really cool creature.
The guys are seeing the mic that is on, is not the headset. I'm trying to change it.
Okay, let's just try to set this here. Oh, just a second, guys. I think we have some technical difficulties here. Just a second.
Yeah, you can change something for our or Marcia. I'll fix it. Can you say something? Just really.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Okay, I'll do.
Yeah, just solving some audio issues here, guys. Is it any better now? Yeah, people are saying. Yeah, people are saying it's better. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so this is the Ice Golem sculpted by Leandro Pavanelli, and that Marcia is painting right now. And people are saying in chat already, Marcia, that your Ice Golem is already looking great.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so as I said, the Ice Golem is you can use it as an ice elemental, and it has like this big club, right? Like golems tend to be they're not like spellcasters or anything. They're just like these big dumb constructs that were created probably long ago, because it's really really expensive to create a golem, especially like 5th edition. I think like the ingredient costs go up to like 250,000 gold pieces or something for the higher end golems. I think the iron golem is something like that. It's just some crazy stuff, like, right? Like I think the
It's
minimum.
almost as expensive as buying a 3D printer in Brazil.
Yeah. It's almost as expensive as buying a 3D printer in Brazil. It's almost as expensive as buying any technology in Brazil, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you import it. So yeah, this is the ice golem. Just a really really creepy. You can use it as a crystal golem or a crystal element or something like that. And I think this is one of those golems that you can, it's a static form, but I think you can describe like as it as it readies to strike, the hand, the claw just turns into this ice club and just hits you for a ton of damage. Let's say. I'm trying to swear less in this live streams, guys. So, next up we have the ice troll. So trolls are one of those creatures that can survive anywhere just because of the of their regeneration abilities, and they can adapt to a lot of different things, and they mutate as well, right? So let me put it up here. And like elemental magics, wherever they are, can mutate them and transform them into a new kind of troll. Uh, like a really really horrible thing, and they're I wouldn't say cannibalistic. They eat people. They sometimes trolls eat other trolls. Sometimes they eat. When there's nothing else to eat, they will cut off an arm and eat them and eat their own arm. It's just kind of a troll life to live, right? And here we have the sculpt by Douglas Martins of the Ice Troll, and you can see here, and it's a very very sad sight, right? He has just like captured himself a little hare, so he can like have a little snack. And if you really want to be like gentle about it, like the hare is not dead. It's taking a nap. It's his pet. It's Mr. Fluffles the hare, and the ice troll is just walking his pet now. But no, it's a dead rabbit. It's dead. It's gonna be eaten. It's a sad thing. But yeah, we have a troll here and it's a very very interesting detail. The ice crystals forming from the body of the troll. Like it has lived in this region for so long, and it has like absorbed so much of the ice elemental magic of the wind and water that it just grows ice crystals from its body now. Maybe that's what it used to fashion to this gnarly looking crystal club. Or maybe it was the magic of the club itself that transformed him. And that's a magic weapon that you can give to one of your players as a great club or something. It is in fact a great club. So you can see here the skeletons on the belt, like trolls and what else? Trolls and ogres and like those giant kin, right? Like the lower level giant kin. Trolls. What else? There's a bunch of Etten, stuff like that. They don't usually worry too much about covering themselves. You would think that in the cold of the frozen tundra of the snowy mountain summit, they would wear something more than a loincloth. But I don't know. Actually, let me check here. No, we don't. I was just checking to make sure that maybe this is a female troll because he doesn't have anything down there to protect to guard against the cold. Yeah, female trolls and male trolls, maybe they don't look so different. I don't know. But again, a beautiful and gnarly sculpt by Douglas Martins. Next up, we have another classic of the of Arctic adventures, right? Who hasn't heard of the Yeti? The Yeti, or the abominable snowman, it's a very, very, very dangerous creature, especially if they decide to attack in groups. It would probably be small groups because each Yeti has a paralyzing gaze. Like I think it's a code gaze, but it basically has a chance to paralyze a player, and paralysis is like paralyzed is a terrible condition to have in 5th edition. It's like if you're in melee, every attack has advantage, and every attack that hits is a critical hit. So yeah, it's not something you wanna be hit with, the paralyzing gaze. And if there's multiple of these, you're in trouble. And here is the sculpt by Pedro Yang. So we have a horned Yeti here. They kind of have like this silverback gorilla feel, like this really powerful muscled body, a lot of hair, a lot of fur. So if you've been wanting to practice how you paint fur, like this is the mini you should use. Yeah, just a lot of fur, and this Yeti is not happy that whatever it's seeing is not happy about it. And of course there's an abominable Yeti as well, and let me just I don't have any 32mm miniatures here with me. Can we get that's a large one. I want like a regular medium-sized one, because you can use the 75mm version of this Yeti as an abominable Yeti. Oh yeah, this is another one from this bundle. Just let me just put it here side by side so you can see. This is a dwarf from this bundle. It's technically let me remember the name of the race, a duergar, right? But you can see like the size comparison. This would be a pretty cool like abominable Yeti, which is like the big bad version of the big badder version of the Yeti in 5th edition. So yeah, this is the Yeti sculpted by Pedro Yang, and just beautiful hair. Like the hair reminds the hair is actually kind of not just artistically beautiful, like actually beautiful. I would love to have like this kind of locks, right? Maybe I should let my hair grow and do something about it. But I'd love to have like this kind of locks. They are a bit like shampoo commercial hair, and it just looks really nice. So next up we have and this, a lot of people really like this one, and we were a bit surprised about it. It's the Wendigo. So this is the Wendigo. It's not a classic D&D miniature, right? It's based on some real world legends and myths. And the Wendigo is a creature that appears near people who have been pushed and have been starved and have faced like they have faced hardship, and they have been starved to the point of committing cannibalism. And I believe there are some like stories where the Wendigo is like the punishment for the the humanoid that commits cannibalism is to become a Yeti, or not a Yeti, a Wendigo, or the Wendigo shows up to punish those that commit cannibalism. But in a frozen tundra, yeah, this happens a lot. Especially in an adventure like Rime of the Frost Maiden, where the sun hasn't come up in a while, and winter hasn't ended, and everything is freezing over, and people can't produce food right, and they're making sacrifices to Frost Maiden. A Wendigo might show up, and here it is, in the sculpt by Douglas Martins. Just this really, really sad creature, right? It's starving, and you can see here, and I think you could see in the concept art. I'm gonna try to show it here as well. The ribs showing. You can actually see a little bit of the. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see it better on this side. Let me get my big dumb fingers out of the way. It's a creature that is forever starving, cursed to forever starve. And you can adapt it to your game like however you want. You can use this as some kind of undead were creature, right? But just like all of the bones coming out of the back, right? Like this is a creature that is, I wouldn't say it's alive. This is a creature that exists and is not happy about existing, and it just keeps trying to fill its belly and eat more and eat you, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, just yeah. I want to see. I think there's gonna be. You can actually see like here. It has like the one of the creepiest things about it. It's the hands, because they're not like paws. They're like actually humanoid hands, and they are just holding on to this humanoid skull here, right? And it's just a terrifying creature. You don't want to meet one of those at night. Like this bundle has a lot of those things that you don't want to meet at night. You don't want to meet at all. Yeah. So yeah, this is the Wendigo. And next up, moving off of like this terrible bunch of creatures that we just had. Like we had the Remohas, the Ice Golem, the Ice Troll, the Yeti, the Wendigo. Let's move on to something a little bit more human looking and less creepy, right? We have the Frost Duergar. Let me see if I can give us a better view of it here. Ooh, let me just. Ooh, yeah, I think that's good. So this is the Frost Duergar, right? He's the Duergar are like cursed. And correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of D&D lore about Duergar. They're like cursed dwarves, right? They have lived on the Underdark for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. I think they were once a slave race to the Mind Flayers or something. Like D&D lore, that part of D&D lore I'm a little fuzzy on. But anyway, they are dwarves. And they are dwarves with a little twist on them. They don't like sunlight at all. So that's probably why like these guys are going on to a winter wonderland, let's call the Snowy Mountain Summit, or 10 towns during the reign of the Frost Maiden. Like they really like that kind of stuff. It's like so cold and darkness. That's the kind of stuff they like. And then we have the Frost Duergar, which I think we in the stat box for him we actually like gave him a little bit of frost powers. But here's the interesting thing about this mini. Although we have them on like the enemies, you don't need to use him as an enemy. You can use him as your dwarf character. And here we have the sculpt by, and this one was by Rafael Salesi. Yeah, the Frost Duergar, and let me hold on to this little guy and bring him a little bit closer here. Yeah, just an awesome dwarf, like heavily armored dwarf. Could work as an enemy, a PC, an NPC. Just very, very, very versatile. Yeah, and this Rime frosted axe here could probably be a magical item for your campaign as well. You know, you can use him as either a classic dwarf or as an evil duergar. But I think in 5th edition they are kind of moving away from the your race determines your alignment kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe you can do like a regular goody two shoes duergar. I don't know. So okay, next up we have a very, very fun one. And let me come back here. This is another Loot original. Let me get him here. This is the Walrus Folk Harpooner. So, this is a great character to use as an NPC or an enemy or even a player character. But I think I would just, as a DM, I would have him as an NPC just so I could play him. It would be really, really, really fun. Yeah, and here we have, and this is a big burly guy. And let me get a hero again, a 75mm hero again, just so you guys can see how 75mm hero. Yeah, thank you. Just so you guys can see the scale of it a little bit better, here's the sculpt by Pedro Yang. And here, yeah, I think this one's gonna be a little bit better. And here is one of our heroes for this bundle. So this is not like your cute like little walrus folk. This is a big burly walrus folk with a big hand and a big spear that could probably like they could probably beat you up with the fish if they wanted to. That's a big fish that they're holding with a single hand. Yeah, it's a chunky boy. So yeah, this is the Walrus Folk Harpooner, and let me just show. Like, there's a bunch of cool little details on this guy. Like, there's a fish hook here. There's a bunch of like little doodads and talismans. There's also actually like his belt is held together by like there's this ornament here of like a fish jaw of some kind. I don't know what kind of creature has that kind of jaw, but this dude probably killed it, so you know it's not to be messed with. He actually carved his tusks. There's a I believe it's like an Inuit tradition of scrimshaw, right? Like ivory tusk carving, and of course, he has like a bunch of fangs here from probably things he killed, but he also has the snowshoes, so he doesn't have to like wade through snow. So that's a great little detail, and I think because the snowshoes are not on the concept art, so maybe this was a detail added by Pedro Yang, and I think it fits perfectly. And like, this is just a happy guy. Like, look at the belly button here, right? Just a really really fun miniature. Uh, so yeah, let's move on to the next one, because I could gush all day about this miniature, guys. Like, I would use this as a player character. Like, talk to your DM, maybe he'll let you do that. So next up we have a D&D favorite, actually, a werebear. So the werebear is one of those creatures that is lycanthropy is usually considered a curse in D&D, and it actually changes your alignment. And I think, I don't remember all of the alignments, but I think like if you become a were-rat, you become like chaotic evil or something like that. I think and werebears in particular, because of like and this is like D&D history, a lot of people actually wanted to go out and like get the werebear curse, especially in 5th edition, because there are no actual like rules detriments to being a werebear. You just get like a much better, I believe it's like strength and constitution score, something like that. I think those both of those go up like 18, and your alignment is either lawful good or lawful neutral. So yeah, there's no downside to being a werebear. Be a werebear. Yeah, and here it is, and it's so werebears can actually be like werewolves and were-rats are associated with like savagery and being evil. The werebear is not. The werebear can actually like be a player character, or it can be a helpful NPC. It can be a good guy, and this is the art or concept artist Guilherme Mota came up with, and this is the sculpt by Rafael Sui. Ooh, yeah. So the werebears can be neutral good. So yeah, this werebear, like, he has been a werebear for a while actually. Like, all of his gear is like is custom made for it, right? Like the giant bear claws, the bear belt, bear-headed belt, the great axe, the sword. Yeah, I don't know how he would react actually if he ever met the or first hero for this bundle, Rau. She's wearing a bear skin. Maybe he would be kind of uncomfortable to be around her. But yeah, this is our werebear, and definitely you guys can definitely use him as a hero or an NPC if your DMs even like allow you to become a werebear. A werebear gets you to a lot of the it helps you a lot stats wise, right? Uh, yeah, just looking at the chat here. So next up we have. Let me get through this, so because we have a couple of other announcements to make today. Next up we have the skeletons, and let me zoom in a little bit so everyone can see them a little bit better. So we have the classic sword and board skeleton, we have a barbarian skeleton, and we have a skeleton mage. Let me set things up here, kind of the way to take a look at the concept art. Ooh, yeah, this looks good. So you guys, like, everybody needs minions, right? A lot of people sign up for loot for or amazing, unique, incredibly detailed looking miniatures, and we love to do those. but once in a while we like to do this, which is something you guys have been asking for a while, which is to do one kind of miniature, which is a skeleton, and do a couple of different versions of it. So last month with Bird Tomb, we did 3 versions of mummies, and this month we did 3 different skeletons. So we have like 2 like classic warrior kind skeletons, and we have like this guy, the skeleton mage, which is my favorite out of the 3, just because we did we did the floating illusion, and I'm actually gonna show it to you guys like how that turned out, because it's quite stunning actually. So all 3 of these guys were sculpted by Breno Sales. So here they are. We have the sword and board skeleton, the barbarian skeleton, and this is my favorite, the skeleton mage. And you know, by cleverly using the cloak and the staff and stuff like that, you can give the illusion that the bones are just kind of floating there, just sustained by the necromantic energies that reanimated the skeleton. Yeah, maybe these 3 guys are just a party of adventurers that didn't make it out of the last dungeon. Uh, Ooh, people are already talking about the axe you're sculpting, Alvaro, and it's looking really nice.
Oh, thanks.
Uh,
Actually, I'm stopping sometimes to watch you showing the miniatures.
yeah, yeah, they are just kind of great. And again, yeah, people are saying the skelet this guy has a bit of a Skeletor energy, right? The from the He-Man cartoon. How was it? It was something like that, right? A really, wasn't it like Mark Hamill that did the voice or something? Yeah. So let's show all of them again. Yeah, so like this could totally be like the last group of adventurers that your party was hired to try and find, and that's what you find, the reanimated corpses of long dead heroes that have been picked clean by the Arctic scavengers. Okay, so we're coming up to the end here. There's just a couple more miniatures, and now we're moving on to a couple of the animals actually. So let me just prepare myself here a little bit. Gotta get them all ready. So that next one we have is the Saber-tooth, and this is a really cool one. Is it a saber-tooth tiger? Is it a saber-tooth lion? Like, what is it? Like, what's the closest thing to it, right? Maybe it's a crag cat. And I think that's a Forgotten Realms thing, the crag cats. But yeah, if you've been looking for an awesome creature for your druid, an awesome beast for your druid to beast shape into, or something with like some really sharp teeth, right? No pun intended. To actually, no, I'm gonna own that. The pun was intended. A really sharp teeth to just bite into your enemies when you polymorph as a wizard or a sorcerer or something. Like, this is a perfect creature, and it's also a great creature to just throw at your players. This thing is probably like the color is right now, like the as you're seeing on camera, is probably not very far from what this cat would actually look like in the Arctic. But you know, if you want to do like a classic saber-tooth tiger, you can do it. You can use browns and stuff like that to do the savannah savanna camouflage, savanna look. And you can actually see here in the sculpt, which is by Michel Rodriguez, you can actually see like it doesn't have the full tail, it's been bitten off. And it has the let's see here. Yeah, it actually has the scratches here that aren't the concept art. Oh, I'm actually not showing you guys the miniatures. Sorry about that, you guys. So let's go over this again. So it actually
I think Saber-tooth had those short tails.
oh yeah,
I'm just
they had
checking
shorter
on
tails.
Google. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I choose to believe like like he's been in a lot of fights and just a lot of
Yeah.
struggles. Right, and it's one of those things like a tail for a creature this big is like it's not gonna help with balance. It's just a detriment to the fight. So they probably would end up with no tails eventually if they had survived. Yeah, so this is a saber-tooth cat, saber-tooth tiger, saber-tooth. It actually has like a big mane like a lion, which is a very important thing for a creature that needs to protect like its vital points, like its weak spots from other biters. So yeah, probably other like saber-tooth cats, saber-tooth tigers. So yeah, a very very cool, very very versatile miniature by Michel Rodriguez. Next up, we have the last animal for this bundle, and it's actually a duo this time. We have the Bearguin and the young Bearguin. So we, of course, you guys probably know the Rau Bear, and I don't remember the bundle. Maybe it was Mad Mage's experiment when we did the Rau Bear. Do you remember, Alvaro?
Oh, sorry? Could you
Do you remember
repeat?
the bundle in which we did the Rau Bear?
Oh yeah, it was the Mad Mage experiment.
Yeah, it was the Mad Mage's
It was
experiment.
the third bundle that we released, I guess.
Yeah, so in the Mad Mage's experiment, we released the Owl Bear, which of course it's a fusion between an owl and a bear. And you have to wonder, why would anyone do something like that? Like, it can't fly, it's not more powerful or more destructive than a bear, right? So why would anyone fuse an owl and a bear? I don't know, man, like wizards. Wizards will wizard around, I guess. And so we decided to create a Bearguin, half polar bear, half penguin. And before anyone says it, we know polar bears are from the North Pole and penguins are from the South Pole. But this is D&D, it's magic, and it's like a whole different universe, okay? So hang on. And here it is, the Bearguin in a sculpt by Rafael Salesi. And yeah, we have both the adult version and the baby version. Look at that. Look at that. Maybe you can kill the mother, capture the baby, and raise it as your own, as your animal companion, and if you're a ranger. It would be cruel, but it would be effective gameplay-wise, and that's what's important. Yeah, and we have the full Bearguin here. I think owlbears lay eggs, right? Even though their hindquarters in D&D are like fully bare, they lay eggs. This one, this Bearguin is a little bit more integrated. You can see like here, like the front part is more penguin with the webbed feet, right? And it actually has feathers like all the way down to the tail, right? So yeah, this one actually makes sense that it poops out some eggs once in a while. And I think somebody asked about this in when we released the concept art. Yes, the Bearguin does have a swimming speed. Still doesn't have a flying speed, but you know, a swimming speed is very, very useful. I would probably, I don't know, I would probably give it like cold resistant as well, like polar bears and penguins. they're down. They can handle some pretty serious code. So yeah, what's the name of a? And I think we did this in the lore, but would a baby Bearguin be a chick cub? You know, part chick, part cub. It would be a chick cub, right? Or something like that. Or a cub chick. I don't know. It's all made up, people. It's all made up. It's made up creatures. It's made up words. All words are made up, actually. So you know. And next up, we have the last character for the bundle. We have the Dwarven enchanted blacksmith. So this, if you're familiar with Flute, if you've been familiar with Flute for a while, you probably know in the welcome pack we have, is Uten Ironheart? Is Ironheart the last name? I forgot now.
Ironhearth.
Ironhearth.
Actually, it's a good story because at first I thought I created this name Ironheart. Actually, Gribble did it.
Mm-hmm.
But once we created the ad that probably most of you already saw on YouTube, like he's saying, "Hey, stranger," we hired a voice actor for it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
once we sent him the text, José, our video maker, he did a mistake while writing down his name. So instead of using Ironheart, he wrote Ironhearth. And as Brazilians, I didn't know what hearth was. But once I searched on the translator, I found that it made a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
It became a really cool name out of a mistake.
Okay, so yeah. So if you guys have seen Uten around, we already have like a Dwarven blacksmith. This guy is a little bit different. So Uten is kind of the blacksmith that deals in swords and weapons and armor, that kind of stuff. This guy, the Dwarven enchanted blacksmith, he's a little bit more of a... you're gonna notice he's a little bit smaller than Uten. And that's on purpose. Like, he's a little bit more inspired in Norse mythology, and he's a little bit like, if you've played God of War, he's a little bit like Brock and Sindri, right? The enchanter dwarves. And like, he's one of those guys that can like make an unbreakable chain out of nothing but like bird spit and I don't know, stuff like that, right? Like conceptual stuff. So yeah, this is the Dwarven Enchanted Blacksmith, and sculpted by Michel Rodrigues. And he's just a delightful little guy. Let me just turn the mini around here a little bit. Like, he's working with the big hammer and the small ring, and it's kind of like, it's one of those magic things, right? He just taps it once, and it's done. It's enchanted. It's a lot of preparing work and sprinkling magic into it. But once you know what you're doing, yeah, the physical part of it is not as important. Yeah, people are singing his gnomish. Yeah, you can use him as a gnome if you want. If you want to like blow him up a couple percent and so he's more in line with Uten, that's up to you guys. But yeah, I think he turned out awesome with the braided beard and like the little, I forgot the name. It's not a monocle. It's like a little jeweler's inspecting thing. And his jeweler's tools. Like, this can be this is a very very good NPC. Yeah, maybe he is working on a ring of power. Maybe it's one of the lost dwarven rings of power, and he's trying to fix it or remove Sauron's curse or something. Dwarves are greedy like that. So, next up we have, and we have a bunch of these, so let me get to them here. Ooh, and I don't know, am I gonna have all of them here? Yes, I think I do. So next up, we have the last thing for this model. We have the objects. Ooh, yeah, I'm not sure you guys are gonna be able to see all of them in the concept art here, but it's no trouble because we're gonna show everything to you, and we're gonna kind of do this. Like, we have a couple of big ones and and a bunch of smaller ones. And I'm gonna do my best to show everything to you guys. Just a second. So, of course, we have, let's see here. It's this way. So, we have, ooh, let me show it. Let me just show it to you guys. So, we have like this little abode here, and let me pick it up and turn it around. It's a little bit of an igloo, but probably like a little bit more sophisticated than that. It's like a temporary dwelling that turned into something not as temporary, right? Maybe a hunting shack or something with a vantage point on top so you can watch around. So this is one of the larger ones we have for this bundle. We have the ice cave entrance, and it's just a little bit of something so that you can do some dioramas. Maybe this is where this is the cave where the ice trolls are sleeping, or maybe the Saber-tooth or something like that. Maybe this is the entrance to the dungeon. And just a lot of ice crystals growing everywhere. Just some really cool stuff here.
This is a great bundle to use some transparent resin.
Yes,
We didn't use it because we want to show all the details, but yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, our third big piece for this set is the throne, right? For the werebeast, or actually any large base will fit here. So if you have will fit here perfectly. So anything large or smaller will you can use it as the throne for that creature. And let me just show a couple the skull details on the side again. Just a throne built on the heads of giants and humanoids, and all the creatures that have challenged the power of the werebeast, right? And of course, we have like the smaller stuff. Let me show this is kind of like the village gate entry miniature that we did, covered in snow with a big like it's a big bone of some kind, just hanging here. Probably like a whale bone or something to be this big. Actually, no, this is like a jawbone or something. Jesus, that was big. I can see the teeth here. Yeah. So that was quite big, whatever it was. Thank God it's dead now. So that's the entrance to the village. And then we have some other like fun stuff. We have the sled, right? And you can use it with I think we did a dog in Toe Collectors, right? Maybe we'll do some of more dogs in the future. But this is a bow sled that you can use with a horse or something, just to just a vehicle that really fits into the scenario. We have here, as always, a chest. This one is it has the is it what I'm thinking? Yes, it is the owl symbol in the lock. Let's see if you can focus here. Yes, and it's just covered in ice crystals and rime and just ice, snow, and frost. You know, definitely not trapped. We have a couple of different ice crystals here. Let me just put it on the table so you guys can see it. We have the frozen tree, and just kind of like bent because of the wind, right? As long as it was living, like the wind made it have this shape, and now it's stuck like that. It's just frozen. We have a frozen skeleton, and just a little fishing hole. Just a little fishing hole with a bucket and a little saw. A fishing pole here on the ground. Just maybe that's how the Walrus folk harpooner was. No, he's a harpooner who was using the harpoon, but you know, maybe he likes to just fish leisurely once in a while. And let me get the snowman here and the frozen dragon skeleton here. I think the snowman may be one of my favorite minis from this bundle. It just like the bucket head and the really angry face, and just like, yeah, it's ooh, and it has like really creepy hands. Like this could totally be like someone took some time to carve those hands into this snowman. Maybe this is like Frost is the snowman situation. Maybe there was some magic in that bucket. Maybe a wizard, you know, relieved himself in the bucket, and there was a little bit of magic left from all the potions the wizard was drinking, and now the snowman is alive and is not happy. I wouldn't be. Yeah. And we have like this frozen dragon skeleton. Like the werebeast has been killing a lot of things. Probably killed like this dragon as well. Dragons tend to usually not be very good for the balance of the whatever environment they're on. So yeah, I think this is it. I think I showed everything. So yeah, this is the bundle. I'm just gonna go over a couple more things, you guys, and then we can get to questions. Yeah, let's span over like all this amazing stuff. So, first up, we have the magazine. So be sure to check it out. We have the encounter guide in the magazine. We have the heroes there. We have all the stat blocks for the monsters. And as for extra content as well, I believe if it's not out yet, it's gonna be out either later today or like at the latest tomorrow, something like that. Which is the painting guide. So last month we got a little bit behind on the painting guide. As I had explained, like Marcia had some back problems, some back issues, so she wasn't feeling up to it. But we released it. We released it like last week, and you guys are not gonna have to wait a whole month for the new painting guide. It's gonna be out soon, so don't worry about it. Yeah, so this is the magazine, and don't worry, the painting guide is coming out soon. Be sure to check it out. And I think we have a printer-friendly version of the magazine as well. So, And for those who weren't with us in the beginning of the live stream, I'm just gonna show it again. This is Jimmy Hollowhead. His our Halloween reward. He's not like a loyalty reward. He's our Halloween bonus, right? And Halloween ended yesterday, so he's available in the October bundles. So Buried Tomb for fantasy and Saurian Native Diplomacy for sci-fi. If you have either of those bundles, you have him already. He's inside the bundle folder under the My Loots section of the website, and you just have to go there. He's gonna be in there as a bonus. Do we have like the pumpkin hat? And let me just show real quick the 75mm version again. We're just adjusting the camera here so you guys can see. Yeah, here we go. So this is the 75mm version. This is the 32mm version. And this is the pumpkin lamp, which is just kind of disgusting. And we have you guys can't see it because it's kind of really bright here, and so we're not going to be able to show you really well. But we have a video out on like the whole process of the creation of this pumpkin of Jimmy Hollowhead and the pumpkin lamp, like from concept to sculpting and printing and painting. So yeah, check out that video on our YouTube channel. It's one of the last ones we released. And yeah, make sure to check your bundle folders for it. And if you don't have last month's bundle, it's not too late. You can subscribe to our sci-fi subscription because it's gonna be available on there until the 15th. Or you can buy Bird Tomb as an old bundle. It's gonna be available on those bundles. So yeah, and I just have a little surprise for you guys. So our last loyalty reward we released, like, I believe it was, was it like the beginning of September? I think it was. So it's almost time to release the next one. The next one will be available on the 1st of December. Oh, not the 1st of December actually. It was probably like be the 3rd or something before we release it. It usually takes a little bit longer for the larger rewards, but don't worry. The fact is, it's coming. And I have a sneak peek to show to you guys. We're probably gonna make a community post sometime this week, but for those of you who are watching the live stream, this is going to be the new 6-month loyalty reward, the large reward for the new cycle of the fantasy bundles. This is and this is a placeholder name for now, but this is the Elf Queen. Yeah, this is the Elf Queen. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit just so you guys can take a look a little better at the concept. This awesome concept art by Guilherme Mota. A lot of people have been asking us for a female loyalty reward, a really amazing loyalty reward, and I think like this fits the bill. This is gonna be awesome, you guys. So let me zoom in so you guys can see. Ooh, maybe that was too much. Let me zoom in slowly so you guys can see a little better. Yeah, this is just a badass elf queen. And we're probably gonna come up with a story for her, and she's gonna have like a stat block as well. She's gonna come in 32 millimeters, 75 millimeters, and of course a statue version, which is gonna look amazing. Look at this. Just look at this. Yeah, so this is gonna be available. The statue version is gonna be 1/6 scale. So she's probably gonna be like close to Lutimus size, right? Maybe the overall size like she'll be taller because of the crown and the base, something like that. But yeah, this is gonna be an awesome loyalty reward. So I'm just gonna leave it here, and we have actually a couple of minutes, so I'm gonna open it up to questions now. So shoot away, and I'm gonna do my my best to answer the questions and to get a couple of to get some answers from Alvaro and Marcia as well. So shoot away, give us some questions. I'm gonna go back here and like just look for some like the whatever were the last questions. Yeah, doomed to die is saying in chat. December 5th is my birthday. Thank you, Loot. Well, you're welcome. Ooh, Jeremiah Cells is saying, and this is a question, I think this is gonna be a question for you, Alvaro. Do you guys ever consider relocating to a more business-friendly location?
Man, yes. Of course, we actually have a new place to move on, but we are waiting for the renovation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we like rent an empty place, and we are building it to match our needs. So there we will have like a cool meeting room, a painting room, a video recording room, and it is actually almost finished.
Yeah,
We probably will move to this new location this month if everything works well. And there we'll be able to make a lot of better content for you, so you can expect a lot of cool videos from us. And of course, we will make a video showing you our new office.
Okay, so next up we have Muhammad, and Muhammad has a comment, and it's a very on-point comment. Thank you so much, Muhammad. He says, we have many from Journey to Valhalla, right, the mammoth. Now we have Diego, the Saber-tooth. All we need now is Sid for completing the Ice Age trio. When are we doing the next the giant sloth, Alvaro?
Yeah, it's actually a great idea. Maybe we can do a badass and dump maybe sloth as a creature in a future bundle.
Yeah,
And
people
don't
are
forget the squirrel. How it's called?
oh yeah, the Stitch.
Stitch, yeah.
Yeah, no, Stitch is the guy from Lilo and Stitch. I don't know if the
Yeah,
little
yeah.
squirrel is actually Stitch as well. It's a name like that. I don't remember right now. So people are asking if they're gonna get a studio tour. As soon as we have the new studio set up and running, we're definitely gonna do a studio tour video. And who asked was Spancakes asked if we're gonna do a studio tour. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Scratch from Ice Age, the squirrel. So I can she be? I have two questions. Are you guys ever going to do something similar to Journey to Valhalla? For example, a Cthulhu bundle or maybe a Japanese yokai bundle. Also, do you guys consider making pose variations? So, first questions first. Doing something similar to Journey to Valhalla. It's in the cards. We don't have any concrete plans right now, but you know it's always in the cards. Loot is always moving forward, and like we're trying new things and launching new products. And Journey to Valhalla, we were very happy with the results. It was a very well accepted product and people loved it. So yeah, definitely something similar. It's in the cards. Uh, Also, do you guys consider making pose variation? So, pose variation is a thing people always ask us to do a lot. It's not as simple as it may appear to be to do pose variation, especially because of our style, because it's very detailed and very intricate. So changing a pose is not a simple thing like oh, you pick that arm and move it there. No, you change a pose, you may change like a lot of things about the model, to a point where you may need to redo a lot of the model. What we have been doing, or what we have been trying to do, is introduce stuff like the mummies from last month or the skeletons from this month. So once in a while, we're gonna have, and this is not going to be always, but once in a while at least, we're going to have creatures like that. Because it's even more interesting for us to do artistically to do something like that than to just do pose variations. But we're trying
And
to,
also,
yeah.
just one more detail. Not only the sculpting is a lot of extra work, but also as loot, always do two scales. We have to place supports again on two different scales and print it again. So if we do like 5 different poses for a character, it is 10 more miniatures for supporting and printing. And yeah, it's a lot of extra work. We prefer to do like design variations. And we are trying, like Tiago said, we are trying to do more of these, like the skeletons and the mummies.
Let's see here. So yeah, I hope that answer your question. So next question, from France. Will you guys be taking a break over December, or is it work out the way? We are planning stuff for December. We are planning on taking a break, but you guys are probably not even gonna notice because service for you guys is not going to stop. Our support team is going to continue to work, and we're gonna have a lot of planned stuff. So if I hadn't like just confirmed it, maybe you guys wouldn't even realize it. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, but like we are human, we need to rest at some point and be with our families. So yeah.
Yeah, but don't worry, we are already finished almost the December bundle, and we are already working on the January bundle.
Yeah, so
No,
yeah, there's gonna be no interruptions for you guys. Like you probably won't even realize any interruption. Like we're gonna keep the support team going, and like there's we're gonna do it like staggered vacations. So you guys know how it works. Service is not gonna stop. So yeah, LARP Beard is saying I would love more videos on the design process, like Jimmy got, even for how you formulate the bundles themselves, from theorizing, I think, coming up with ideas to deciding what models to make and sculpting. Yeah, I think I think we will probably do a couple more videos like that, probably starting from the concept art, right? It's something you guys like to see, like the creative process, right? I don't think I can promise that we're going to do the creative process of coming up with the bundles, because then we would have to do the full brainstorming meeting in English, so you guys could understand it, and that would be a lot. That would be a lot for a lot of us. So next question. Let's see here. Oh, so Nisimi is asking why no more maps. So we stopped doing the maps we may replace them with something else in the future. But the reason we stopped is we realized uh, they they weren't exactly like up to par with the rest of our product. We want to focus on other things, right? Not a lot of people use them. We did a couple of community polls and stuff like that, and we figured out like it was a lot of work to make that work within the bundle, and it wasn't worth it. Like a lot of people didn't use it, so we are focusing those efforts towards other stuff and trying to create extra content that fits better with our product. I think that's the answer. What else do I have? So Corvath, I'm not gonna ask that question to Alvaro now. I think that's a wonderful discussion we can have, and I'm gonna have it with Alvaro later. I think it's a good idea actually. Uh, let's see here. No, how about making a bundle from a single race like dwarves, elves, etc. etc. Okay. It's two. Greg P is saying, would like to see a video or two of the support system for the Prince 2. Thanks for all it does. You are welcome, Greg. So we just started a new series on 3D printing tutorials, and it's gonna cover a lot of stuff. The first video was like on the what was it again? I can't remember now. My brain is failing me. The first video of the new series was on exposure time. Yes. The next one is gonna be on layer height, and we're gonna do a bunch of those. Like we're gonna do the different settings. Like we're gonna go over advanced settings, stuff like that. We're gonna go over supports and give you guys some tips and show you guys some tricks. So there's gonna be a lot of content coming from that area. So, Jeremiah Sells, have you considered? No, let's see. Muhammad again. How about making a bundle from a single race, like dwarves, elves, etc., but making them in every possible class, like ranger, wizard, etc. So it's not impossible for us to do something like that. I think it would be something interesting to do, but we usually go with like adventure teams. Like this time is an Arctic adventure team. Last month was more of a desert themed adventure. The month before that was like sewer exploration and dungeon exploration, stuff like that. Like more broad teams. We did do a couple of months ago, like several months ago now. Whew, that time flies by fast. We did a kobold bundle, right? And even in that kobold bundle, we had a lot of variation, and I think that's important. So it wasn't just kobolds. It was kobolds, it was lizard folk, there was a dragon there, we had 3 heroes. Like, variation is important in that regard, Muhammad. So we could maybe do a bundle themed around dwarfs, but it probably wouldn't be like it would be a bunch of different types of dwarfs and stuff that relates to dwarfs, right? So maybe maybe dwarven warriors and golems and creatures that are famous for attacking dwarves, different types of dwarves, stuff like that. So it wouldn't just be a bunch of dwarves, right? But yeah, we can definitely look into doing a dwarven themed bundle. Not Christmas. Marcia, I have a message for you from Bare Bones. He says you should stop painting because that ice golem is going to come alive if you keep putting more details in.
Oh my god. Thank you.
Oh, so Deb Linden is asking hello. I don't know if this has been asked before, but do we find a mage hand somewhere yet? I think the mage hand was added to the welcome pack already, right, Alvaro? I think it was.
Just check here on our website. Maybe we can have a place where all the sculptures that I do on live can go to.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. It'll be a little bit easier for people to see. But anything that, for now, anything that Alvaro sculpts in the live stream with the intent, of
Oh, yeah.
course, of being released, right? Because it's fun to create something to be released, but it's also like it's a lot of work for our 3D support team. So once in a while we may do something just so you guys can have some nice live sculpting sessions. But anything that is intended to be released for now is going to the welcome pack. Welcome pack 2.0.
Yeah, you can go to the welcome pack and under the Tavern Objects tab, there you can download the mage hand and the mage hand with the torch. Also, this axe that I just sculpted will go to there too.
Mm. Let's see here. There's a couple of different questions that I think I think it's so HL17 and Travis Martin are asking about some specific teams, and HL17 is asking if we thought about doing Roman Arthurian like Bog Mummy and Celtic and Roman equipment stuff, and Travis Martin is asking if we consider doing some modern fantasy team similar to like Disney Onward or Bright. I think those teams, both of those teams have the same problem for different reasons. And the problem is we have noticed that people, when they think of our fantasy bundles, they think of a very, very specific thing. So we don't know how well accepted those types of teams would be in our fantasy bundles. The modern stuff would probably fit better into like maybe our sci-fi subscription. But either way, those are teams that I think fit better for maybe a separate release. So we can because they're like Arthurian legend is such a rich thing that we can pull from, and it's yeah, like if we're going to dive into it, maybe we should like go all the way and do something like Journey to Valhalla, right? But yeah, it's in the realm of possibilities. We have thought about it, but we haven't found a way to fit those themes into a subscription bundle yet. Okay, so we have time for like maybe a couple more questions tops. Cramp is asking for a search feature for a search or a research feature for the website. This is something we are working on. We are working on a big upgrade to our platform. I don't know like how. I can't go too much into it, but there are a bunch of features that you guys have been asking for a long time that will be available in this new version of the platform. So, yeah, there's new stuff coming. Don't worry about it. Can we have a version of the X without a base? Yeah, I think that's possible, Mohammed.
Yeah, I'm just doing it.
Is this going to be available next month? So Johnny Davis, is it going to be available next month? The spiritual weapon Alvaro just made. I don't know.
Probably in a few days.
Yeah,
right?
probably in a few days. It's probably not gonna be too much trouble to create a support. So yeah, it's going to be available and it's going to the welcome pack. So look for it there. Yeah, I guess this is it. I'm still looking at chat, seeing if there are any more like different or cool questions coming up. But I guess this is it, guys. This was our the review of our Snowy Mountain team. This was our Snowy Mountain Summit bundle revealed. So have fun printing, painting, and playing. So it's been lovely to have you guys accompany us during this live stream. Thank you all so much for it. Would you guys like to say bye, Alvaro, Marcia?
Thanks a lot, guys, for staying with us. We are very excited for this new bundle. And yeah, that's it. Thank you a lot for your supports, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Marcia?
Much to stay here with us, and see you in the next one.
So, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.